Welcome to the next thrilling instalment of Good Beer Live. We're one man down at the moment, but Craig will be along shortly, I'm sure. So tonight we're doing something we did at the start of the other lockdown. we did a local beer special, and we thought we would impromptu revisit that again. We decided about Thursday, I think. It's like, I'll get some local beers in, and then we'll do another live show. So we've all got our respective beers from our area. But as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Rob from Hopsing.
Hiya.
How are you doing, Rob?
Yeah, pretty good. Seems odd having the first beer at 9 o'clock, but I mean, it is what it is.
you got to start sometime.
Yeah, exactly.
I've already got a few comments. This comment was left early by Mersey Beers here at 20-8, so he was keen. He has some local Polish beers. Well, Europe. Well, I suppose not. We're not that local anymore, are we? But enough of that.
And the next one's my favourite. It's been a revelation as this channel.
Yeah. DJ Video Scratch saying hello. And then saying hello to Rob as well. But yeah, you should check out his channel. It's a very strange videos. You might see my face on there. Yeah, sort of remixing beer tubers is essentially what his channel is. Yeah,
it's very odd. It's very original idea.
Yeah, the comment that I left on the video of me was, "I don't know what this is, but I'm all for it." There we go. There it is. DJ Scratch and Jaco Beers.
And many other beer tubers as well, I think.
Yeah.
On there.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly, so, you're a good subject for a Scratch.
Yeah, well, you'd think it'd be a bit tricky because of all the jump cuts and everything, but I suppose there's certain places you can pick up a good whack. But anyway, that's a very niche subject to start on. But yeah, so should we crack into our first beer and then we can
I've
start
already opened mine.
Well, you be saying what yours is while I'm opening mine. Then.
So mine is Kirkstall Brewery, Providence, New England Pale. It says hazy New England Pale packed with eminent American hops. I don't think I've had it before. Actually, I probably have had it. Kirkstall, just on the outskirts of Leeds city centre. I've actually filmed a on location video, but I've never got around to posting it. I did it actually with Stuart Pickard from Ginger Ale Trail about 2 weeks before the world set on fire. So
yeah.
But I've never posted it. But now I feel like a bit guilty about posting this from this kind of like afternoon in a pub from the before times. So I just never got around to it. But it's a cracking little. They've got I don't know maybe that's where the brewery is as well. But I always thought the brewery was bigger. But because they kick out a fair bit of volume. Great little bar on site. Do pizzas in there as well. Very kind of like family friendly as well. It's actually in probably what was an old building owned by Yorkshire Television. So I think there's only like 2 buildings on that strip, which they used to film Emmerdale there. Well, it was used to film all sorts of stuff for ITV back in the day, but now it's just it's a variety of other things. So yeah, it's well worth a visit. Absolutely worth a visit. But their beers, you could potentially make a lot of comparisons to like Thornbridge. Mm-hmm. I think the lad who's the head brewer was at Thornbridge at one point as well. He's a nice guy as well. But they've been around. How many years have been around? Maybe about 8 years, maybe like that. Maybe a bit longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was actually from Morrison's. It turns out, well, before I went out today, locally to me, because I got all my beers from Guiseley, which is about 3 miles away. But in Shipley, where I live, which there is a really good beer shop, but there's not much fucking local beer in it. Morrison's got loads of local beer. I mean, they make a bit of a thing out of it, but I only picked up this one brewery. I've actually got 2 cans from it. We'll see if I get onto the other one, which is a West Coast IPA. But we'll see how
Yeah, because I can. It's probably the only place I can get Kirkstall is my local Morrison sort of thing, and even that's not really a local one. I still have a fair distance away. So it even gets down here in Morrison. So they must be of a certain size to be able to serve that.
Well, the people behind Kirkstall Brewery, so I guess Kirkstall's become the main business now, but it used to be the people behind it used to run a company, a distributor's called, an importer's called Vertical Drinks, and they used to import all Sierra Nevada for Europe. And so
okay.
there were millions of units of Sierra Nevada coming through Kirkstall at one point. But yeah, so you can see. So what's he called? Old fella who owns it. Oh, his name's gone off my head. Got out of my head. So he's very much got an interest in that kind of classic American style IPA, and they've also got a lot of good connections as well. So done quite a lot of collabs with those kind of more old school. So they did when I actually went and did the filming, they had a beer on what they'd done a collab with Odell. So you can kind of see Odell, Sierra Nevada. You can see
the influences
from that kind of thing. Because this is lovely. I mean, when I pour in it, the first bit out of the can looked like water. I thought, like, blimey, that's pale. It is super pale. It's paler than you can actually see.
Yeah.
But it's nice and soft. I mean, I don't even know what ABV is. What is it? 5.2. But lovely and light. Got a little bit of bite to it, but not too much. But yeah, it's very pleasant, real quaffer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on a local brewery, relatively local, so it's Norfolk. I'm Suffolk, but don't any fellow Suffolk people don't run me out of town for drinking Norfolk beer. But this is from Ampersand. It's Parity. It's their West Coast Pale at 5%. And I mean, it is classic West Coast. It's Cascade, Centennial, Chinook, and Columbus. But what I would say is I don't know what yeast they've used. Oh, White Labs, WLP 007.
007? I don't know what that one is.
No, but it's sort of, it's a strange one, really. It almost tastes like a West Coast IPA that's a few months old sitting on the shelf. Sort of, it reminds me of what West Coast pale ales used to, like the imported ones used to get over here, like a couple of years ago, sort of thing. So it's a little bit muted in that respect.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so it is WLP 007 is an English ale yeast.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that about it. It's sort of a zippier hops, but that you can definitely tell it's the yeast strain's a bit different in that.
It says, well, the last thing it says on the initial blurb on White Lab's website says, which I'm wearing. If you can't, I don't know if you can see, because I'm not on. I'm actually wearing my White Labs t-shirt.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm being proudly sponsored by White Labs. I'm not really. It's a wonderful place. So. I have been to a yeast lab, but it does say this strain can be a substitute for WLP 001, which is California ale yeast, which is a derivative of like what Sierra Nevada use. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is perfectly pleasant. So I wouldn't say. I'd say it's a bit flabby. It doesn't end. So I want it to end a sort of bit piffier and bitter and drier. And this sort of just tails off into a little bit of sort of sweetness sort of thing. Hello, striptease has started already. but I mean they do kick out some like really good beers, and I mean they started off really as a cask brewery. Like they're a sort of small family band, really, and they have branched out into. I prefer their darker beers.
But I've had their milk stout.
Yeah, that's one of their most popular.
Probably
and they do like a double. They do like a double version of that, and they do like a really big imperial stout. Maybe it's called like something evil. It's not unnecessary evil because that's the Thornbridge one, but it's something like that. But they're really good brewery. But I think this is just such a divisive style and a hard one to pull off nowadays because everyone's got their own version of it and all that stuff. But it's perfectly pleasant and drinkable. And I mean, it was like £3 for like a big 440 can. So can't beat that really.
I think that was either free. I think that was 250. Yeah.
It's from a big supermarket chain, though. Boo.
The Yorkshire one, though. So that's
Yeah,
all that matters.
exactly. Yeah, that's local. It's local.
It's not. Was it craft?
Yeah, craft brewer.
a bit of craft. Hashtag craft. Should have put that in the title.
Yeah, craft bit. Yeah, next time we do a supermarket one. Yeah, we'll do that. So, yeah, how was the lockdown been? It's sort of like a bit of a fake lockdown in certain ways.
Yeah, well, it's not really made any difference to me.
No.
Only thing it means I can't go to Triangle and drink in on a Thursday night. So we've just taken that evening of boozing back online like we did first time round. Just like the guys who I'd meet up with on a Thursday, we've just taken that drink back online, really. Yeah. Which is a bit of a shame. I think it's important to have human interaction. But yeah, so and then just not being able to, like, Saturday would often be a day out, well, an afternoon out at least. But often going to pub into Leeds, a couple of beers around town and stuff like that. So that's kind of disappeared. But then drinking out is really expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Drinking beer is really expensive. So,
well, during that like first lockdown, it was like I brought like loads of like ordered loads of beer online.
Yeah,
and I still had, like, normally it'd be like scraping pennies together at the end of the month, but it was fine. Because I think it's because we weren't going out, and you spend all those extra little bits of money sort of in all these places you don't even think about if you sort of grab something to eat and then you have like a couple more beers, and whereas if you got your set amount in your online box. Yeah. I said I'm walking distance. I'm walking distance at both shops, really. It depends how lazy. It depends if I want to walk 6 miles. Which is not often because it's a lot of uphill as well. It's not actually that far, but yeah, it's all uphill to Guiseley. So I've got, access to 2 shops. So my online buying has dropped a little bit. I bought a bunch of stuff from Overtone. Yeah.
Your brewery, which was apparently
I own them.
Well, yeah. Created loads of confusion at the brewery because there's a guy who kind of cuckoo brews there who's called Jake.
Oh, really?
There's a Jake who cuckoo brews at Overton. And so, Jesus Christ, they're like, I think you got the information wrong. I'm like, don't think I did. Just a joke about me, mate.
Exactly.
So, but I've been really impressed by them. So I'm quite tempted to get some more stuff from them, because I think me, Craig, and potentially Harry, unless Harry drinks all his beer, might do it over.
Which is a high chance of that.
Yes, there is a high chance of that. So we might do that, and they've been a real find. I've been really impressed by them, and I was kindly sent, not from the brewery, by somebody on Instagram, a couple their 2 highest rated beers. So they've been a real find. And I got the Trillium from Cloudwater for the tasting, but it's. The online is dropped off, to be honest.
Yeah. So I haven't actually ordered online in.
I'm still buying a lot of beer.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
I've got like the delivery from the bottle shops is what I've been doing, like local bottle shops. And because I've been doing that 30 beers for 30 years thing, I've got like a whole box, like 30 beers that I'm working through. So I haven't had to like buy stuff in ages, which is handy. So yeah.
Today's. What was today's?
What was today? Elusive. It was Elusive's The Wasteland.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Which I'm surprised I haven't got a copyright claim for that one, because I used some footage from The Who, Barbara O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Just because they say Wasteland in it. That's literally the connection there.
I drank that at Nomadic when Andy was doing a Tap Takeover. That was just before, I guess. It might be one of the last outings.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. It's a hefty beer.
It is hefty. It's but it was a lot, like when I was smelling it, I was like, I think this is going to be quite harsh, quite boozy. But then it's really smooth and make it drinkable for 10% or whatever it is, 10.5.
They said it was. They said when he got the barrel, he aged in, there was just whiskey sloshing around in it. Bourbon sloshing around in it.
Yeah. You definitely get that on the aroma. It is like massive on the aroma, I think. But yeah, I think it was like a couple of barrels and he blended, so maybe he got a little bit of that. Maybe he sort of blended out the like real whiskey harshness.
Yeah,
and it just leaves sort of like a nice aroma. But look, it's not really affected me lockdown really yet. It's been a bit of I've just been working from home anyway, so
yeah.
We'll just see what happens in a couple of weeks when it's supposed to be over.
Oh well, we'll see.
And they're going to open it. They're going to open it for Christmas. Everyone's going to go mad.
Well, they see that thing. Can't be trusted. The Great British public cannot be trusted. Pubs around Christmas.
No. Not in normal times, let alone in a. There's something that I remember. Because like I'm not. I think we've said this before on streams. Like I don't like busy pubs, but I like him having a certain amount of ambience.
Yeah.
But like I quite like it at Christmas time when it is sort of a bit of a hustly bustly pub. I remember like I've got a real fond memory of when you and Craig went to London, and we went to what's the pub? Is it the King's Head pub down the street where we had like Celebration Ale, Sierra Nevada Celebration on tap. What the hell was that one called? Do you remember? I mean, we went there with Gav as well after Beaver X. That when I met you in London after that.
Where we had? Oh, in Thingy on just off the main road.
Yeah,
in near Bethnal Green.
Yeah.
King's Arms.
King's Arms. That's it. Not
Derbyshire Street.
Derbyshire Street. Yeah, that's I remember like because we was it this.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I think it's King's Arms.
But I remember because we went in winter, didn't we? It must have been late November, early December, all those years ago. And but I remember sort of like from the outside, it was like all sort of foggy windows, and you could just see like loads of people in there. And they did have sort of like I can't remember if it was decorations or just greenery, and it's sort of like that's like Christmassy sort of a vibe pub.
We sit at the bar.
Yeah, because it was rammed. Yeah, and we tried to. I've got footage of us, but it's just inaudible because it was just so heaving. We're trying to like talk in the camera.
A memory of that being one of the first times I was presented with a card machine, like as a natural thing to be like, oh, you're not going to use cash.
Yeah.
But now it's like cash.
Yeah, what's cash? The cash is dirty. Covered in germs. But I remember we had Celebration Ale in there, and we had did we have Black Ops on keg? Was it Brooklyn Black Ops, or was there was something on there? I got a real fond memory for that pub.
Big ask, is it? You know, trying to get me to figure out.
We were hammered because that's famously where we went and got bagels. Where the video that I have will never see the light of day.
That wasn't the same trip, though. I don't think.
That wasn't the same trip. I see it's all just running into one now. It's all just running into one.
That was quite. I remember that being relatively. I can't. No idea.
Too hazy.
I've been honest.
How many times have we met in London now?
Good point.
Like, must be like 3 times.
Yeah, it should have been more. Yeah. That's one of the bastards of this whole situation.
Yeah, yes, all my food
plans, best laid plans of mice and men, Afghana Glay. That was for John Drinks, if he's ever seen this. Yes, so that was definitely going to be a thing, wasn't it? We had a big plan to be. I was imposing my plan on you, which was to visit like Pressure Drop and Brick like properly, because we just was a complete shambles last time when we tried to visit Brick on our behalf. The shambles.
We caused the shambles.
I just wanted to. It was like, just getting it up and running, like doing all these kind of like on-site recordings. Go to London, do all best places in London, do Colonel's new tap room and stuff. And it's like,
I want to go there. I want to go there. I was listening to this probably was the first lockdown, but Beers Without Frontiers. I think Simon just went to the Colonel tap room like before like lockdown hit. Yeah. Like right when it was literally just open, or maybe it was just tail end of last year. But he was saying like how good it was, and I was listening to that because I normally listen to that when I like go for a jog, and Beers Without Frontiers because it's a nice sort of like thing to sort of meander along to.
Yeah, it's
And
steady.
yeah.
I definitely recommend the most recent episode.
Yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, the Colonel Tap Room. That's. I mean, that's almost like that's almost half of the day just spent in the Colonel Tap Room.
Yeah, Colonel and Brew by Numbers. That's where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even getting into the Germany and America plans, which have gone.
No, yeah, just London.
It's London had been it, and London and Britain. Well, see, that was it. When it all kind of kicked off, and we were like, "Oh, international travel's not going to happen anymore." So me and my mate who were going to go to America, we were like, "Oh, well, we can do some place in the UK," because he was going to go to the European Championships as well, football. Had it all booked, had it all paid for and everything.
Yeah. Oh shit.
So he can't go to that. So he won't go. So well, we can do. We're going to do London. Go to Bristol. We can't go abroad. So let's go to some really good place in the UK. Can't fucking do that now.
No.
And go out. I mean, West Yorkshire in theory.
Yeah, can't go down the road now.
Yeah, I'm because that's disappeared at a rapid rate, and Craig's still not here. So I'm going to grab the other Kirksley one. Keep on trying. One thing I did want to point out is local glassware as well.
Local glassware, local beer.
I was going to wear a local T-shirt.
Oh, look, I've got local glassware too. I've got a little Left Project glass. There you go.
It's all in the detail.
Yeah. Okay, well, Rob's grabbing his beverages. I'll rattle through the comments. Here's DJ Scratch. Oh, look, he's letting us behind the curtain. He's letting us behind the curtain of how he makes the videos. Thomas is saying, evening, fellas. Evening, Thomas. Some pleasantries. And Thomas is also watching. Hi, Thomas. And more pleasantries.
Oh, everybody's so pleasant, aren't they?
They are. Yeah, it's nice to see. It's nice when you got a pleasant chat.
Yeah,
so I think Craig said it'll be on in about 10 minutes, I reckon.
Oh, cool, perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We should be doing the untapped thing for the current beers, but I love a bit of that.
Let me see while you're telling us about that one. See if I can actually remember my untapped password.
I've got it. I've got it up on if you need me to do it.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's Providence. Have a look for Providence from Kirksley while I pour a can of Spokane West Coast IPA at 6%. In the volume. What did Simon used to say? ABV. He was in the volume, wasn't it? Sure,
in the volume. Right.
I'm sure it's something like that. What's the business? It's like once again, it's a bit pissy looking, but I mean that in the best way. A healthy sample. It looks bob on for West Coast. A beautiful kind of a marshmallow head. I've poured too much beer in it, so I can't get much aroma.
I don't know my password for Untapped.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll do it. I don't either, but so I log in with Facebook. Stall.
Oh, there you go. You might get some DJ treatment soon. You've been subbed.
Oh, brilliant! Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I need. Fueling online. Chrome tab. Boom. You're going to do that just in case if you left any other tabs open, which you don't want people to see.
Yeah.
So can you see it now? See mine? I think you have to add me. You have to add me.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
There we go.
No, I remember now.
So yeah, this is what I've just finished. Don't say. So New England Pale Ale with Citra, Amarella, and Equinox Cryo. 3.72. I think that's
pretty decent.
I think that's quite generous, to be honest. I don't know. What does that work out at? About 7.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd get a 7. It's solid. I like a comment. So I'm searching for comments.
A lot of Morrison. Oh, look at that dirty glass, that dirty bugger.
So what's he got it in as well? What his dirty glasses? Oh, I can't see.
Oh.
We're trying to figure out if it was
Yeah, you got to know your stuff to know
I
that.
ridicule them. So, come on, give us some comments. Give us some comments. Oh, here we go. Martin B, nicely refreshing. If a little light in a hazy instead of an orange juice chewy cloud. Orange juice chewy cloud is a nice change. Plus New England Pale, not any IPA, New England IPA. I'm not going to say the word, which is an excellent description. I think I'm on board with Martin B on that one. Any more? Come on, give us a comment. He didn't like it. Carl B didn't like it, did he? Grumpy ass. Mozzers as well. Mozza beers 4.5. Bloody hell, Tom H.
He loved it.
He's loving it. He's the world's biggest Royal Ale Festival. I presume that's a camera. Glass. Oh no, it's Mammy Spoonies or something. Morrison's again. It's all cans from Morrison's. I guess this is November. It's a lot being checked in, so people are picking it up at Morrison's, aren't they?
There's a
there we
few
go.
comments.
Did I miss a few? I got one there.
Yeah.
Tristan R. Nice tropical fruit flavors with a dry finish. Cheers, N and V. Yeah, cheers, N and V.
Like envy.
And Tom W. Nice. Peter Supermarket, decent selection. Quite quaffable. Yeah. The best thing. Oh, drinking on the Thunderbox. The final taboo. Oh,
Christ alive.
On the bog.
What a straight. What a nice
there
little.
We go.
Weird to put it on there and
just
take
use
a photo.
it as a table. Using it as a table.
Maybe it's like a real cheap studio apartment, and it's just on his couch.
There you go. I think that we've got to stop at that point. I feel if we're going to get hit any higher notes than someone drinking on the bog, which I've probably done, but not. I've not got any active memory of it.
No,
not for any extended period of time. Just if I was really into it.
Yeah.
The shitting more than the drinking.
You have to hydrate. That's a bad shit if you have to be drinking while you're while you're doing your business. Yeah. Yeah, it chews you out. breathe through it. What did that get on tap?
Ampersand parity.
Out of interest.
Oh no, parity. Stop. One of the apparatus. So let's have a little screen share.
The bitterness built on that one. It really didn't feel that bitter, but it's left me with a very bitter aftertaste.
So what's it got? So it's got. Oh, is that the exactly same rating? 3.72.
I bet it's been drunk. I bet it's been drunk a lot less than that beer from Coates. Yeah, it's relatively new. Last sort of couple of weeks.
Oh, it's getting Pedro T liked it.
Pedro T.
W, resiny and dry. I rather like it.
I'd say resiny. I don't know so much about dry.
Crush. That's what H says. That's one term that annoys me is crushable.
Crushable.
Decent West Coast IPA from. There's a lot of them. Parinel.
There's some names coming on.
Good hoppy vibe. And slight bitterness to this. Anymore, a bit watery for 5%. It's a nice palate cleanser after that last thing. Oh dear.
Oh, what was the last one?
The good thing is that's where I got my Ampersand from. John M. Second time around.
That's Snake Moulton's.
That
beer place. He brought it from just a local place. Snake Moulton's. Which is weird because that's like a village rather than a shop. But
Colin R. More like an IPA in flavour profile, citrus-like hops with a dry, slightly spicy finish. There's been a lot of comments. More of an IPA, American IPA than a West Coast, in my opinion, but a solid beer nonetheless.
What does that mean?
He bought it from Sir Toby's Beers, if are you familiar with that?
Yeah, that's in Norwich.
St. Martin's, yeah. St. Martin's. Dana. Good solid pale.
Good solid pale.
Glass fancier than the beer. Great beer, creamy with a West Coast for a West Coast, but classic bitterness.
Absolutely classic bitterness.
Proper West Coast juggle.
That's like what the other bloke was doing, wasn't it?
With a slightly bitter finish. The one that my favourite, what appeared recently, when I was doing my Almasty thing last week. Oh, nice to revisit up the racecourse. Malting hoppy dry finish at the racecourse, West Hall. It must be a pub then.
Yeah, that's like a
West Hall.
That's like a community-run pub.
Ooh, cool. But yeah, so the best thing that I got from doing when my arm was doing the comment was they said it was a bit splashy. Oh, I thought poetry is that
a bit splashy. That's a good one.
Splashy.
I've just cracked this one open from Duration. It's West Coast IPA, 7.1%. It's quite apt. It's called Remember When the Pub.
Oh, yeah. What's ABV is yours?
It's 7.1.
Oh, that's 6. So we're both on the West Coasters.
So on the sort of top end of a West Coast.
Yeah,
of an IPA.
I kind of understand where they'd say this was a West Coast IPA. It's very clean and crisp, maybe too much so. I think it's lacking a little bit of malt character. For me, West Coast goes in two directions. As it happens, my beer mat is Nevada Torpedo and Pale Ale on the other side. It goes in two directions. It goes malty, like a torpedo, or you go excessively hoppy, which would be more like Blind Pig, Pliny, that kind of thing. Once upon a time, what Sculpin would have been and Stone Road Nation would have been, those kind of beers, which are and what Alpine used to be and stuff, which are excessively hoppy but very pale as well, and quite bitter, but not excessively bitter, but just silly amounts of hops. And I think this is a bit light. It's kind of if you gave me this blind, I'd be tempted to say it was like a hopped up lager or something. It's very crisp and clean. And just lacks a bit of. It just lacks either of those characteristics. You go one way or the other, but then it's supermarket beer. It's pretty safe in a lot of ways. So, but very pleasant, quaffable as well. So,
this is really quite strange. It's it's hopped with Simcoe and Citra Cryo, and it's really got this sort of like watermelon sort of fresh cut grass thing going on with it. It's got dextrose in it as well, so it has got a bit of it is quite sweet, but it's really quite dark.
Yeah,
but to me it's not bring for that level of like darkness. It's not bringing any sort of real toffee caramel malt character or anything like that. It's a strange one.
See, that I guess that's my thing. If you're thinking of like Torpedo, the example of, well, it's an extra IPA's Torpedo, but which is a similar colour to what you're drinking, and I'd expect that to bring. It's that combination of slightly kind of a bit of a toasty marshmallowy malt, which kind of bonds really nicely with quite resinous hops, and you get that kind of sticky marmalade type thing. That's the thing. Well, where you want to go with that kind of thing. I said, mine. Put yours up now next to mine, colour wise.
Yeah.
Look at that, dramatically different in colour.
Yeah,
both West Coast. I know yours is a little bit stronger, but anyway,
here he is.
It was worth the wait.
Oh,
It
don't
was.
about that.
That's right. It's right. You could catch up quick. We're only on the second beer.
I've kind of been watching and this
Yeah.
sort of and that kind of thing, but yeah. Then the internet played up, of course. So that's another 5 minutes. Yada yada. Let's have a beer then.
Yeah. Cool. You're here now. What are you on?
Hometown brewery to start. Gads.
Ah,
Clean glassware and
nice.
branded glassware. Yeah, all that good stuff.
Ale in a bottle, really ale in a bottle. Is that really ale in a bottle?
Yeah.
You got there, lad. Ah.
So,
Did you not put? Did you pour the sediment in, which was part of
Not
the
yet.
fermentation, secondary fermentation?
apparently,
process?
I
You remember that
didn't
old
know.
chestnut?
So it's this year's green hop ale.
I remember that. Fondly having that at the Grove in Huddersfield on cask. Once upon a time.
Yeah, it's all of the breweries in Kent. It's always the highlight of the year. It's uber fresh hops straight in 24 hours later, all that sort of thing, or within 24 hours, and then so I think I had one bottle of this one. They've done a special edition this year, the Ramsgate Brewery, but so that it's more political motivated, which I've done a review on, but yeah.
Okay.
But,
how's it tasting? I actually had a wet hop beer during the time when I had the elusive, actually, Jake. The same day. They'd done a wet hop beer with a local kind of like community produced kind of hops, which a friend of mine who I used to work with, she was involved in the process.
Yeah, another brewery, what we'll be having in a minute, do a community grown hops, and everyone gives them the hops, and then they go and brew the beer and stuff like that. So, which is really cool. Apparently, that's through Time and Tide, down in Dealey. Sort of Deal Sandwich. I don't know how far that project goes out. Maybe it's Dover, whatever.
You can't help but be entertained by a place that's called Deal. And obviously, a place called Sandwich. It's always entertaining.
What about
Sandwich,
ham? You could get a ham sandwich deal all on
Is
one
there-
sign. Ham sandwich deal.
Is there an abundance of
Where is it?
sandwich shops in Sandwich?
I think I've thrown it away.
And if you don't call it sandwich, sandwich or something like that, it's you might as well not set your shop up.
What, ham sandwich? That was
ham sandwich.
I tried to order that today because my I've said before, my local bottle shop gets a load of Time and Tide in, but they ran out of that, so they sent me Super Sprat instead.
Oh, that's rocking.
Yeah,
that's good.
But he said it like ham sandwich is good, but I like Super Sprat's probably better.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
So I was happy with the upgrade on that one.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, they're really. I mean, but anyway, back to this brewery. Great cask beer. They've done a few. They're getting into more kind of experimental, like Lambecs and Creeks. I know they've got a barrel aging project bubbling away, but apparently. That was last September. They brought out a Creek last Christmas, which was really good. So they've got a little bits and bats. I don't know. Obviously, this year, as you said, it's a bit of world on fire business. So that's probably altered a lot of plans for a lot of breweries. Well, I'd imagine so.
I think often, from a bunch of things I've heard in that sense, is that a lot of breweries have had the opportunity to do those beers, to put stuff in tank because they're not running to keep up with demand for kind of basic kind of like drinkers. So they do have the opportunity to be like, oh yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, there's no what's going on. There's no clarity of what the next sort of 2 and a bit weeks are going to hold. So a lot of pubs aren't ordering their cask beer because they don't know yet. But of course, that puts the breweries in limbo because they don't know either whether to brew it.
They don't know whether to stick it in cans or stick it in.
It's just, it's a bit fucked, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Cask breweries, cask breweries have really felt it.
Yeah.
I mean, keg is a bit of a tricky one. I mean, the Triangle, beer shop, stroke bar, up near me. Gav was, it was going to chuck away a couple of kegs that he'd had knocking around, which were past the best and stuff. And I said he's got a Linda machine, which he's not using. I said, take that down, take that home and crack on.
Yeah,
you can pop it on. I'm thinking, I'll have it. It's all right, old time. How much this can I get through? It was like they had like a Burning Sky, Into the Void. I think he had a Verdant, which he just not got on and stuff. Even within that kind of weird the window of uncertainty. So it's draft beers. I mean, it's like I was heard about Cloudwater from a friend. They're working at 50% capacity. As far as production goes, so
I think
and also apparently they've got loads of hops, and they can't sell it on. It's part of the contract, and so I'm under the impression this is not from the horse's mouth or anything. That you'll see a lot more triple IPAs from Cloudwater because they've got to use those hops.
Yeah. and it seems to be a bit of a trend anyway, the whole triple IPA thing. Everyone seems to be making a triple IPA.
I had the most
weird how it's caught on all of a sudden.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have a triple IPA tonight, so I might be a bit drunk.
It's like
I was last night.
It's like Unhuman Cannibal and stuff like that. It's kind of like they're out there on their own kind of thing with that kind of style of IPA. Now, obviously, the juice bombs have been doing it for quite a while, like Other Half and etc. But
not as long as that Unhuman. I'd always think of Unhuman being one of the earlier ones. First one I probably had was Simcha from Knee Deep, which is an absolute banger. Unhuman. Well, it started the trend over here. I've got to say, the Cloudwater Triple IPA is a lot better than Unhuman Cannibal.
Well, yeah. I remember trying it back though, like 5 years ago, and it was the haze craze wasn't really taking off. It was sort of around about the time they started the V series, and then it got to number 3, and then that's where it went.
A seminal moment in a that's
the beer, I think, or one of the beers that possibly changed it. I think there was another one from Gypsy Hill that come out around about a week before.
That's what Johnny wants you to believe.
Oh yeah, he says it's the first New England IPA.
Come on, Johnny. I do like Johnny. Come on, he's reaching a bit with that one.
Yeah, I had to throw that in there. But,
I had a terrible pour of that in North Bars Bar in Harrogate.
I think that first one was a bit ropey. Was that the one that they sold in like crowlers on like beer merchants and stuff? They sold and then the crowlers are all shit because they're shipping crowlers. Or was it a later one? I can't remember that. But the first time I did like the Cannonball run was at Fuggles Beer Cafe in Tunbridge Wells.
All right.
And there's actually I can't remember if I did all of them actually, or I had whatever they had on at the bar plus other stuff. But there's a great old video on my channel. It's probably the first year I was doing the channel, and where I'm absolutely just hammering in the car, like Sophie's like driving beside me, and then I'm just like talking an absolute load of bollocks. And then I remember Fuggles Beer Cafe actually then reposted it and was like, this guy looks like he had a good time. It's actually trounced in the car on the way home.
I think it might have been 2015, 2016 I first had them.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of years later they brought out the Neon and
Yeah, the Neo. Yeah, that's the first time I've actually done the full one with. I did Cannonball and did all, and then did the other three when they did them in the cans. That was fun. Just got a few comments. Everyone's very happy to see Craig or Grade. And then there's DJ Scratch.
Nice one.
And then Thomas is saying beer of the year. Is he saying like, okay, guys, talk about your beer of the year, or is he saying what's your okay beer of the year?
Actually, that would be. I like that question. What's an okay beer? Like,
what's the most okay beer you've had?
Okay beer, because I think that's actually more interesting question than because beer of the year. Jesus Christ!
I've actually had a lot of beer. I've actually tried more beers this year than I think I did last year. Last year I was very sort of staunch, like I'm just drinking the beers I like. I'm not like getting new. And then this year I've been like, new stuff.
I've had a lot of variety. So
I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know.
This year's been too mad for me, so
I
don't know about that.
I just don't know if I could.
My memory's pretty short.
Oh, my memory is horrendous.
Mine's really bad.
I don't know if it's like the whole kind of lockdown situation, but my short-term memory is disgraceful right now. Yeah. So, beer of the year. I was asked to be beer of the month when I went on podcast.
I've had very few horrible ones.
I've not had many bad ones.
It's like going back, which was when.
Exactly.
Back. One that stands out in my mind. There's two that stand out in my mind, and I'd say actually I'm gonna pop me fucking flag in the ground, and I'd say Dark and Perilous Night from Siren is probably leading the charge at the moment. That is a chef's kiss.
First chef's kiss we're done. It must be good. It must be good.
Oh man alive! If you didn't have it, it's absolutely ridiculous. Stupidly good. Like blended bourbon barrel aged, like Imperial Dark Ale or something ridiculous. Yeah.
One that sticks out for me, and it was right early on in the start of the year, and it's stuck in my mind so much I've just had to look it up to remember the name of it. Was the Burnt Mill Gardens of Green, the one where they like chucked all the hops in it, and that was and it still sticks in my head because it's one of those moments where you drink it and it's like the stars align, and it actually does, and it happens less and less because I think I've tried so many beers, and it's probably like the same for you guys. When you get a beer and it's like, whoa, that's good, and that one sticks out in my head, and that was like in February. So
I think mine was probably March.
Yeah.
It's early. No. Probably that's when it came out at the start of the year, I think. But I didn't drink it until maybe June, July, actually.
But I'm just going by my the videos I've done this year, and I mean, that crazy beer that I had from Vault City, that stupid stout, that just sticks in my head. That sticks in my head as just because it was just so mental. I mean, a beer that is so thick you can't even doesn't come out of the bottle.
So that's probably a good way of remembering you. Julius was good.
Yeah,
that was very good. I remember that being a memorable thing as well. I guess. I can't not mention. Yeah, that's right up there. Mayan continuous improvement from Cloudwater.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had any of those yet.
That's the best one by a country mile.
Yeah.
The straight up one was good. The blueberry one I didn't care for, and I didn't bother with the chocolate orange because I don't like. I like a Kerry's chocolate orange, but I don't like orange flavored chocolate things mostly.
Yeah.
It tastes a little bit like sick it back of your throat. And so I was a bit. I'm gonna go and grab me next North one.
Cool.
I just done when I was untapped. I cheated. And, from 1st of January to today. There's quite a lot of earlier on, and this was all in the first kind of lockdown. I was supporting the little Swift a lot.
Getting all the crazy stuff in.
Yeah, and I was just like, local. Also getting some really good stuff.
Mhm.
A lot of pressure drop on there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Slumber came out again today.
yeah, I know that was number 2 on my. That's number 2 on my current list. Not that it matters; it's all relative. There's just
But
lots of good beer.
What was number 1 then, Craig, on your Untapped?
Where Does the Time Go by Verdant?
Okay.
I don't think I've had that.
That purpley type can. And then Am I Being Basic? Palette Notes, Something Good 5 from Daya, 7 Crystals, Psychic Abilities, and whatever that is.
Oh yeah. That was very good. Yeah, that's right up there for me.
Then Time and Tide's Cracking Coffee Stout. I love that beer. It's great. Vermont Sticky Maple from the brewery. It was good.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean that's just like I wouldn't know this. I can't remember yesterday. So.
Yeah, that's what Untapped's for.
Yeah.
It reminds you of what you've had.
Should use it more. I've just opened. This week's release from North, I think. It's a West Coast powwow for my Kentish for you two essentially. Powwow. It's called Pale Blue Eyes. Pale Eyes.
Pale blue.
5.5. Simcoe Centennial and a Tannum, which I was told by TV Sarah Warman how to pronounce it was if it's like it's a tanning salon owned by a Geordie. A Tannum.
Yeah, because I was like, is it spelled ATHANUM or whatever it is? Is there a TH in there?
AHTANUM.
Yeah, that is a slightly funny spelling.
But yeah, that was must be some brewdog beer which had a Tannum in. Yeah, I remember Sarah, but yeah, it's like a Geordie kind of telling.
I remember that, like the pronunciation. Oh fucking hell! How you say
pronunciation?
how you say Goza? I learned that from Sarah Warman from her video on it.
Oh really?
Because I said goes or goss or whatever, but it's Goza.
See, I'd say
like a slight accent on the end.
Mostly just for my own entertainment, but yeah, Johnny made a point about Goza.
Goza.
I said it maybe the other time I was online.
That's it sounds.
In the comfort of my own home, I'll say Goza.
Yeah. In a safe space.
She bloody Goza, tell me.
Thomas is saying, I apologize, I'm slightly drunk. Probably shouldn't be commenting. Oh, no, even better. Comment away, Thomas.
Yeah,
go for it.
Comments are welcome.
Tell you what it led on to, and we'll do our okay beer review in a bit.
Yeah, that must be hard. That must be. If I can't remember my best beer, I'm definitely not going to remember my okay.
Oh, I can easily pick you one out, which we're like, okay.
Yeah.
I've just had 2 okay beers.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, this is a bit of a struggle for me. This one. I was really hoping this was going to be good. This duration one's a real struggle.
This is nice.
I had quite a big fish and chip supper about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I was like, "Oh, this is not good." And I was really like I couldn't move and stuff.
Lethargic.
He had three fish and 2 portions of chips.
In my face, I'm like, So,
what did you go for? What were your source of wetness?
That's a very personal question.
Gravy, curry sauce.
We're on mine, Rob. Sauce? No, it's
no sauce. No sauce at all.
No.
I go curry sauce. Curry sauce and mushy peas. Curry sauce.
It's all beer.
I can't remember. There's some comedian. They went into a chip shop asking for. I think they asked for gravy or curry sauce, and it says, "Has they got out wet?"
but no, I had a ridiculously spicy curry for dinner. So if I have to rush off, you know why.
So I have to put the bog paper in the freezer.
Yeah. We've got Rasco.
Yeah.
That almost sounds like some sort of like wrestling sort of like intro. Yes, Rasco has rocked
does.
up.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
And we've got Saverio. I think that's
I'm going Severio.
Severio. That sounds better.
Yeah.
Severio.
Yeah.
Let's give a little bit of a roll on the end. Severio. Viscotto. Hi guys. Drinking Forced Cohen. How do you say that? The Forced Brewery, situated in the Italian Alps. It's the last family-owned brewery in Italy. Oh, that's cool.
All right. Salute there.
Cool. Yeah. Nice. He comments on James's stream a lot. I think that's probably where I've seen before.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Nice.
Right. Well, yeah, this is Bob on this. It's not going to last long.
This is. I actually prefer this. I mean, I tried this the day it was launched. It was a little bit. I know it's a green hop beer, but it was a bit green. It was really uber fresh. East Kent Golden, which I've never had that before.
Like in a battery.
It was just really, I don't know. There was something about it. It's probably because I've never had it as fresh before. I've never generally. I stick away from like launch nights and stuff because normally there's too many people. But obviously this year there wasn't.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, go down there then. And it was. I thought, well, I'll give it a week or two, and then I tried it about a week later, and it was absolutely fine. So it was only about a week. It's banging in bottles. It's really cool. Yeah, one of the highlights of the year locally, for sure.
So did most people bottle more nowadays? Obviously, because normally they have the festival, don't they? They actually put it all in keg, and you actually have the Green Hop Festival and stuff.
Well, yeah. In Canterbury, they normally have one late September. There's like a food festival, but they've also like that for that few days. They've got like a whole tent with 20, 30 breweries from Kent. All have like a few casts there, so you can try
it's like all green hop stuff, isn't it?
Everything's green hop. Pale ales, bitters. There's been some saisons produced in that, which is I don't know quite how that works.
Green hop saisons.
Yeah, I don't know. Not being a brewer, but I think
Craig did a video of the green hop thing a couple of years ago, didn't you? But I was going to say, it just came to mind when you were talking about it. There's a guy on YouTube who doesn't do much. I think he's American actually, but he travels around a lot. Called Owen Ogletree, so it's OGLETREE. He did a video from there a bunch of years ago. Maybe it's going back a while now, but he did. It's quite nicely done. So if anybody wants to have a good idea of what that thing looks like, so check out his channel, Owen Ogletree. I've watched a bunch of his stuff. He's only got 100 odd videos, but he's got all sorts of stuff. But I always really remember fondly. I think he's I said he's American, but he's really into British beer. I mean, look, I'm just looking at his. He's like Everard's and he's all over the shop. But I remember his stuff, and that's probably the first place I kind of ever saw the kind of like that kind of the Green Hop Festival thing. Mm-hmm. It looks fun. It just looks like a bit of a market, and all breweries have got a stall and stuff.
It's good. I went when I lived in Canterbury. Obviously, went every year, and the food around it, like the food stalls around it, is so diverse. I mean, I had it was like these Iranian. It was like an Iranian food stall, and they did these like lamb dumplings, almost a bit like a samosa, like halfway between like a samosa and a dumpling. And oh my god, that was like one of the tastiest things I've ever had. And like someone asked me, "Oh, what was the best food you had at the festival?" I was like, "Oh, it was the Iranian stall."
I just gorged myself with like pulled pork burgers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I was like, that'll do me.
But I remember you doing a bit of a tour of all the places as well. I remember you going into like a little little hut-like place of the year.
Yeah, well, it's like a big marquee, like double marquee.
No, this was at a brewery, I think.
Yeah, I
brewery,
remember that video. You did like the trail. You did like the green hop trail of all the different breweries.
Yeah, that was a five brewery bus thing. That's I forgot about that. Yeah,
but we know your videos better than you do.
I don't watch them. So that's why I don't realise there's no sound on the video like the last one. But,
there was no sound on the video. I haven't seen you last time.
There was, but it was. I had the mic there. I thought, oh, that'll pick it up.
No. I think that was their kind of reaction to Craig saying it was too green.
What?
I know, weird. It's bizarre.
What?
This is a good one. Best English Christmas beer you recommend? Is there many English Christmas beers other than sort of gimmicky ones? You get like Festive Star and
gimmicky crap in there.
Yeah, it's not like the Belgian sort of Christmas beers. They're Christmas beers for me, like Left Noel and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You thingy, Bob? Yeah, because there's all those Ridgesides ones, like Criminally Insane Elf and all that kind of like bobbins, which I'm not interested in. Off the top of my head, the brewery that I live about 50 yards away from, Saltaire Brewery, do a beer called White Christmas, which is it's kind of like a really uber pale blonde. It's not a wit. It's spiced like a wit beer, so it's got like coriander and cloves, but it's quite subtle in its spicing, but that's nice. And they just relaunched that actually this week. It's not something I'd go and buy, but that's decent. But I mean, it's not overtly Christmassy, but I don't like those spices. I hate clove.
Yeah, clove's a bit of a
ginger, and I'm okay with cinnamon, but
I quite like cinnamon and ginger. If ginger's not too strong, then I'm okay with it. But sometimes it's just so dominant. Ginger is can really kill a beer. I don't mind a spiced beer, but I think it has to be balanced. It can't just be so overtly spicy, and that's all you taste, sort of thing.
I can't say I've tried. I can't say I've tried a hell of a lot of Christmas beers over the years. I had a spell a year or two ago where I've done quite a few. It's probably my local brewery. They do one called Little Cracker. Generally bring it out every year. That's generally on cask, and I think they did do it in bottle. I can't remember. And they brought out another one called Large Cracker, which is of course, it's obviously a higher ABV.
Large Cracker.
Fancy a large cracker. Which was good. Oh, you don't drink too much of that. It's 7%. I was like, okay, give me a pint.
Yeah. But, well, I see what you say about 7%. Currently drinking Westmail Trappist. I take it that is supposed to say double.
Yeah.
But I've got a few sort of Belgian. I had Orval the other night from my 30 beers for 30 years box. That's coming up on the channel soon. Got a few more bits and bats in there. Every time I have them, I say the same thing every time. It's like, oh, I need to drink more Belgian beer. Every time I have one, and it reminds me of it. But then it's like, no, I'll just buy the Imperial Stouts and the hazy IPAs. I don't put the Belgian beer in the basket.
Yeah. I had a spell where I was getting. They're great. They're all great, but you keep doing the same, or for me at least, it kind of levels off a little bit, and that's why I started doing the old German stuff back in September sort of time.
I think Dunkel's great beer. Yeah,
really enjoyed it though. Even like some of the really lovely, German lagers and stuff. Because they're not like what everyone knows as lagers. They're on another level. They're just so much more flavour. So I've been really.
I was watching something today which was saying sort of same thing that you were saying there. I think it was I don't know if anyone's seen it. Like the Ferment Radio Emma Inch who does Ferment Radio. She's started a YouTube series.
Yeah.
And it was Anne Spatch and Hobday was the first one she went to, and they were talking about their lager, and they were like saying they've held off brewing a lager until they actually had the kit and the actual capabilities to do it, because they said like when you try like actual German stuff, you're like it's on another level. So like why even try and compete? They mentioned like you have these family breweries, these like large family breweries.
They should still even be bothering.
Yeah, doing these lagers and no exactly, yeah. But they said they got I didn't have, but they said they got good feedback on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they're saying like these family brewers like putting out a lager, which actually is probably more similar to like a Kolsch or something like that in how it's brewed, and sort of getting away with calling it a lager. And then you actually have the German stuff, and it's like no wonder lager has a bit of a bad rap among the wider populace sort of thing.
They're chalk and cheese though. It's just completely, you know.
Yeah, I think even the good stuff in the UK. I guess the big two you'd think of would be Keller Pils from Lost and Grounded and Don Soko, Northern Hellas. I think they're your most lauded British lagers.
Yeah,
I think there's some decent stuff out there. I think Don Soko do a great job, to be honest. I'm not that fussed about Lost and Grounded at all. I don't know what it is. Something about it just doesn't like chime with me.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. It's nice, but yeah. I get a bit more of a buzz from drinking an actual German lager, and you sort of I don't know. It's just I don't know if it's a psychological thing or I don't know what it is.
Well,
really.
we did that thing way back when we did that episode where we did lagers, didn't we? We did we did Mega Hells, Mega the big one
Mega
from
Megahertz. Yeah.
Megahertz
Imperial Kolsch.
Imperial Kolsch. Well, as it happens, so Saltaire Blonde, which is the main beer that Saltaire make, is essentially a Kolsch. It's brewed using Weyermann's lager malt. It's hopped just with Saaz, and it's fermented with an ale yeast. So it's Kolsch, but they call it a blonde. But it's Kolsch, effectively. But it's easy to say blonde. People understand blonde. It's low ABV, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's but then that beer becomes well. I don't know if it still is because pubs don't really exist, but it became kind of like you go anywhere, go to the crappiest social club or something. And their goal was to replace John Smith's on the bar with Saltaire Blonde, which is I think it's great, and it's a Kolsch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a wonderful thing to do. So, but yeah, on the episode that we did, so we did Megahertz, and we did something else which I can't remember off the top of my head. But then we did Augustina, and I think Augustina was the hoppiest one of the lot. I've got such a memory of that. Putting them all side by side, that's hoppiest by a long shot.
Yeah.
Then Craig was his. Me too. Got my brewery specific glassware. I'm drinking North out of my North.
Yeah, you two have put me to shame.
I can go and grab my t-shirt on as well.
I could put a little project beer in there, and then
I've got a fucking North face mask, mate.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you just crack there, Craig?
That was I've had it a few times. Captain Twinkle Toes, which is well,
IPA.
It's been out a few months. Yeah, it's an IPA. It's brewed with
What is it? It's an IPA.
Citra Mosaic and Blue One.
Oh yeah, Blue One gets around. It's one of those beers, one of those hops that got appeared in loads of beers this year.
Oh, I always find it really pineapple-y. Add some big old
I have
pineapple.
no idea. Brew One.
Yeah. 6.7. Low IBUs like you'd expect. So, but yeah, it's my third or fourth can, I think. So
We're now into the bit of the evening where Rasco and Disco confuses us when they're both commenting under the same under the same name. Well, confuses me anyway. Which, but they I can't remember if is it Fridays or Saturdays? They do a good live Instagram show, which is them just Saturday, which them just talking shit, and it's
10:30 over on Instagram.
Yeah, it's always late, and I always catch it for like a little bit, and then I'm like very sleepy. But it's good. It's good. It's just them talking and talking about their they're both from different parts of London and talking about what's going on there. So give that a little look on Instagram. Craft Beer Pause saying cheers, gents. Happy weekend.
Cheers.
All right, Brandon.
Severio's. I'm generally drink more Belgian beer. I drank the Carolus Christmas beer and then the Schuff Christmas beer. Any Belgian beer, Belgian Christmas beer recommendations?
I really liked. I quite like the Gordon's one, which is a Scotch ale. I like. Is it Père Noël, which might be made by Durank. One Christmas, I made a real kind of blitz on drinking Belgian Christmas beers, and I remember that Père Noël, which I think it's made by Durank. It's maybe it's a wrapped bottle, it's a small bottle.
Yeah,
it's like green, and there's like a little Santa kissing a bottle. That I remember that being a really good one. But I liked the Gordon's one because it's a bit more kind of like malty and restorative and kind of a bit beefy, and I liked that. I've got it's a funny old one, is that Gordon's, because it's all kind of Scottish branded up. Even the glass is like a thistle and stuff. But their Christmas one was like a really lovely, rich Scotch ale, which I think I prefer that to the excessive spice bullshit. Mm-hmm. It's something that kind of like suits the supposed time of the year, because goodness knows what the weather will be like this year. But that kind of like warming malty beer. You want to be sat near an open fire, don't you?
Yeah. Raw smoking jacket and a big wing back leather chair.
Yeah. It's that, isn't it? That's I think. I mean, I think I'd say maybe the better. I mean, I guess the iconic one is, but it will be Anchor's Christmas beer. It's quite iconic. I've got an old one knocking around actually, but
I quite like the what's the Saint Bernardus. What's that called?
I've never had it. I've never had it.
Christmas.
Jesus from Strasser is damn good. That's very a bit bigger.
Yeah, you've got the Delirium one as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big. That's like 10%, isn't it? That Delirium, the Christmas one.
I can't even remember. I'm so out of touch with Christmas.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
I drank a load of them I went to a Belgian Christmas market in Brussels, and all the different, even though it was a Christmas market, all the different breweries, the big breweries had their sort of little tent and everything. It was well, I say a tent. It was more like you could only fit about 4 people in there. It's like a little shed. So like drinking like Leffe stuff, but it wasn't the stuff that you get like in bottles over here, sort of thing. That was good.
Yeah.
John Smith's a long time ago was respectful drink once upon a time. Can't remember what we were talking about.
I remember
John Smith's getting replaced. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, last time my well, he's English, but he's lived in America for goodness knows how long now. Lee, when he first came back, and we all met up in Leeds, and first beer that he bought was John Smith's Mild.
Oh, okay.
He was very excited to see John Smith's Mild. he lives in East Dundee, Illinois, so he goes to Dark Lord Day every year. So we're like begging him to bring us over loads of like free flies and stuff. So he's like really blasé about like bottles of Dark Lord and stuff, and he just wants Mild. You find that with Americans, though. I mean, same applies with Paul. I mean, Ryan, even though Ryan's a bit more kind of into the current stuff to a certain degree nowadays, but they all want to taste. Mm-hmm. Kind of traditional British ale,
British cask beer. Talking about traditional British beer, I've already cracked into it because I did a review beforehand.
Okay.
Cool.
Of Good King Henry Imperial Stout. This one's 10%, so it's a bit stronger. But I mean, the brewery technically doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
It closed down last year, and it's brewed at Grains, but it is still brewed by the guy who owned Old Chimney's Brewery.
Right.
He oversees it, sort of thing. And
Is
still obviously they still do all the, and they still put, which I find funny, they still put like the actual like address of the brewery and everything on there.
Yeah.
So you must own the land or.
Are you sure that's not a bottle from the last time you brewed it?
No, this is recent.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
this is brewed at Grains. This one. Yeah, brewed at Grain Brewery, Norfolk on the bottom.
Oh, fair play. See, but that became a thing.
Yeah.
It's like Thomas Hardy Ale. It got passed around.
Yeah.
Loads of breweries kind of like brewed it and stuff. Courage Russian Imperial Stout as well. That got passed around.
I remember that.
Talking to John Smith, I had a bottle of Courage Russian Imperial Stout, which was brewed at John Smith's.
Right. Yeah.
Old one, like a 1982 bottle or something.
Right. I remember what happened to that beer anyway? Because I think they still. Is it?
It came back, didn't it? It came back.
Is it export market now only?
I don't know who would have brought it back.
Oh.
So it would be Wells and Youngs, but then they got bought out.
I don't know what. Yeah, I mean, it used to be in the supermarkets and stuff. It was like
for sure. Yeah, I remember about like 8 years ago. I'm sure it came back, and it was good.
I don't know who owns it now. I don't know who owns that brand, that Thomas Hardy brand.
Yeah, but exactly the same price. Yeah, Thomas Hardy. I think it was an American. You get it in America. You get it in America a lot more than you get over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because it's like they still get it over there now and again. It's like how I've seen it for years. You know, I remember seeing it. Oh, it's like $3.50 a bottle. I'll have one. If I saw it now, I'd buy the whole freaking case. I just either be really disappointed or really happy. But that's another thing. You don't know. Beer's changed or your taste changed or whatever. But yeah, just don't see it at all.
No.
Classic label. It's like.
That's the internet.
But going back to that, like that is just. I mean, it's not the best Imperial Stout you're ever going to drink in your life, but it's almost a. I don't know. It's just got something about it. It's got a bit of an elixir feeling to it. Sort of a bit medicinal in that respect. Wakes you up, but it's like really good price as well. It's like $5 for a nice big 10% beer.
It's all right.
Yeah, the barrel aged one is the more lauded one, and I've had both, and I think the Special Reserve is a better beer.
Mm-hmm.
But I had quite an old one the last night before this next lockdown. My mate brought an old one, and it had a little. There was something what had happened to it, and it dropped off a cliff.
Yeah, I can imagine because it's a little bit thin, so I think I think I could see that falling off a cliff a little bit.
I think Rob, you brought them to. Was it the Manchester Piss Up? I can't remember.
Maybe I did.
Pretty sure.
Maybe I don't know, or maybe it was Stuart. I can't remember.
It's on my Untapped. I know you brought two.
Did I?
Whether it was two vintages or Special Reserve, I can't remember.
Maybe I did.
I'll have a look.
Refute that.
I can't remember.
Because the thing is that I'm gonna. That's part of my 30 beers, 30 years box. That one, and I've actually reviewed it on my channel because me and Rob had Good King Henry on cask in Leeds.
Did we?
Yeah.
Special Reserve.
No, it was at Dark City. Dark City. They had it on. The only cask in the building, I think. Yeah. So we. I don't do many re-reviews.
You brought it to Manchester.
Oh, fair play. It's very generous of me.
Well,
I thought it was going to be that Paul would be.
Yeah, you brought the Special Reserve 2014
That sounds about right.
But that was 2 years ago. So yeah.
Yeah. No, it's going to be that what Paul will be into. As British as you can get, and not thin. Apart from the non-barrel aged version, which apparently is thin.
Yeah. Dav was saying good evening.
Evening, Devon.
Rasco and Disco. Oh look. Oh, that's a nice label. That old chimneys label. I like that one.
Is that that might be set in and night, that one?
Yeah.
That might be after I went.
Oh, that's
That
that
poor after the wheels fell off that night.
That poor hotel room. Oh. It's probably a storage room now.
Actually, I think that's my old laptop. Actually, the photograph.
Probably.
It's knackered.
I think Thomas is a bit. I think Thomas is a bit pissed. Thanks of this. Really enjoy. Thank you, Thomas.
Excellent.
Last year I drank Basque Scotch Ale at 9% multi-bomb. Are these beer produced in the UK? Because I know the brewery closed years ago.
No,
I wouldn't think so anymore.
I think Bass is. I've got a suspicion that Bass is licensed to a brewery in Belgium. I think.
Yeah, it's
Look
Belgium.
into it.
Bass is Belgian brewed. Yeah.
That's a good sentence.
Actually, Belgian bird.
Have you guys ever heard about Justin Fletcher, aka Mr. Tumble? Yeah, I'm pretty fucking familiar with that guy.
I really don't like him.
Yeah,
I really don't like him.
Do you know? I've actually seen him live on stage. Believe it or not, at a festival, and it was a good time.
I don't like him. What's incorrect? Incorrect.
Thanks for following. Don't forget to share our live show on Instagram. It's lots of pleasantries. Like I said, a very pleasant chat.
Oh, good.
Justin's house, one of my favourite programs. Rasco or Disco says.
You need to have a word with yourself, mate.
What about the video? What about the video scratch of Mr. Tumble? Okay, I'd watch that. There we go. We'll put up on the comments. Yeah. I just know this. Mr. Tumble taught me this. Grumpy. And it's grumpy. Yeah, fucking. The worst one's Blippy. I don't know if you've ever had to suffer Blippy, Craig, on YouTube, as your little girl watched Blippy.
Yeah,
it's bad. Blippy is the worst. My son absolutely fucking loves Blippy.
Oh yeah,
terrible. It is mind numbing.
Well, she likes it, so and she keeps her quiet. So I then put my headphones on and don't have to hear it. So win-win. But yeah, no, not really. But yeah. But this is going down really smooth and nice. I have to say,
this is the best beer I've had tonight. Though you went on for us. I don't know if you saw. I started off on the Parity, which was the West Coast Pale, which was okay. It was decent and drinkable, but not great. But I mean that was a real slog for me, that Duration one. And I'm a fan of Duration. I've like had a few of their things, but that was not revving my engine. That one.
I've got a Galaxy New England IPA downstairs. I'm debating whether to. I've got two of them, so one I'm going to do a review. I might just crack the first one after this from Xylo in Margate.
Oh, okay, close to you.
Which is a brew pub.
I think I messaged you about them before, didn't I? Because I saw them just pop out of nowhere, and I was like, "Oh, who are these guys?"
Yeah, I mean, I've been there. I've tried some of their stuff. Some of the stuff's really good. They get some other good guest stuff in. They get a lot of. They get some like out of the blue. They'll get some like Verdant in and stuff. It's like what?
Yeah.
Like core range stuff, which is nice. Like they've had Buxton in there before, and stuff like that. But they also get things like they get a lot of Hackney Brewery stuff. There's one down in Devon, Cornwall way. Not one of the the hype breweries, but can't think what it is.
Was it Padstow?
That's the one. Yeah, they get a lot of
Padstow.
patches.
Yeah.
I think they've done some collabs with them. I think they've come across and they've done a collab there for the bar.
Oh, okay.
I think anyway. Yeah, so they get lots of them sort of things. They do their own stuff, which is what I've got. I've got 4 different beers from them. One's a Kolsch. I thought that'd be interesting. But I've never had cans from them, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Are they proper? Were they crowlers or proper cans? The ones that you had?
Yeah, proper 440s.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell. Because their label's quite sort of like basic, isn't it? It's like the black and white sort of.
Yeah. And they just.
I thought, for some reason I thought it was like crowlers, but obviously
no, they're just normal cans. So
yeah.
So that was.
DA Scratch saying, can you show the Mr. Tumble DJ Scratch video on the stream? Not on this stream, but on Harry's Hot Flicks and Chill stream. That's where we can we can show that stuff tomorrow night. we'll gladly show it on there.
Yeah, get his channel shut down.
Yeah. Davor is finished brewery to Verzet. Their baby Jesus is 10% ABV. Imperial Porter. Oh, with cherries, Rob. With cherries and coffee. If they add real cherries, is that okay, Rob? Or is it just a residual cherry flavour?
Yeah, I won't pay too much for it.
Yeah.
Just in case.
How you doing, Davil? How you doing all right, mate?
Yeah, cherries and coffee is quite an interesting sort of mix because coffee, like it depending on the roast and what sort of bean you're actually using, can actually be sort of red berry cherry.
Red berry, yeah. I don't mind the red berry bit.
I prefer cherries with chocolate rather than coffee. If I was going to go anywhere with cherries,
yeah,
that's just me. So.
Exactly, yeah. That's just you. Well, I've been on an absolute tangent because the coffee thing reminded me of it. I've been watching this YouTuber. It's quite big. It's got like quite a large channel. It's like 500,000 subs. It's like a coffee guy called like James Hoffman, and it's almost a bit like almost like is really posh, like super posh.
Okay,
like talking about coffee.
I like characterful people on YouTube.
But he is like so dry. It is unreal, and it's almost like ASMR. The way he's like talking about the coffee, but he's like super self-deprecating and all this sort of thing. But like I'm digging it. I'm digging the coffee content. Question for Craig. Hi, Craig. On our show, you mentioned some good bars to visit your way. Can you remind me of what they are, please?
Oof.
Clothes. What do you need? What do you need for?
Yeah, did I? Well, you got the Ravensgate, which is a 10-minute walk from me. That's really good. Depends what you're after. What you're after? You're after kind of real, kind of craft stuff or cask stuff. If you're after cask,
I don't think Rasco and Disco care.
No, well,
it's whatever you got.
You can do both. So locally, to me, I started in Ramsgate. You've got the Conqueror Ale House, which was the first micro pub in my local area. I think it was the third in the UK. I think the first one was in Tankton in 2003 or something like that. We've got like about 20 or 30 in my local area now, micro pubs. So you've got that. You've got there's one in Broadstairs called the Four Candles. Yes, it is out after that open all hours sketch.
2 Ronnies,
yeah, it's 2 Ronnies.
And it was actually the house opposite. I think is where I think it was where Ronnie Barker actually lived for a while.
Cool.
So there's a bit of history in all that sort of thing.
Nice.
That Four Candles has a bit of a dubious ownership though, so I'd avoid it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean the pub or the gag.
No, not the gag. The gag's the best in the world.
No, but there is a blue plaque.
Yeah,
and apparently that's where he wrote the sketch when he was living in that place. I think that's right. So it was just opposite. They called it the Four Candles because it's the connection.
Yeah.
Allegedly,
I prefer the Mastermind sketch, to be honest.
What, where they answer the question before?
Well, that's all. That is super.
Well,
That is
they
so
actually
clever.
did two. They actually did a couple of versions of that, didn't they? Where it was different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it was different versions of like answering a question before or after it's asked.
That is
that's
so
good, that one.
incredibly clever. That's so incredibly, to actually remember it. To remember that, it's like,
Yeah.
that's pretty special.
It's
How many
the
takes
timing of
they-
it as well.
I want to see
It's
the
the-
outtakes. They must have outtakes.
Well, they didn't
Must
keep
have.
any. They
Back
didn't keep
then,
any
not
of that
back
stuff. Then, yeah,
Yeah,
film just
On film,
evaporated.
innit? Yeah, exactly. Chucked it away.
What a shame! What a shame!
Mm.
That'd be gold now.
Yeah.
Mm.
That'd be better than the actual sketch itself. Just the outtakes.
Do you remember, I don't know if it's still there. I think it's something different now. There was in Broadstairs, Craig. There was a bar that was like it was a craft beer bar and like a fish bar, and it was amazing because you could eat like you drink craft beer and then have all these little like morsels of like fish. Chef's kiss.
Mm.
It was. I think it's called something different now. I don't think it's a restaurant anymore. But that used to be awesome.
You've got a place called the Chapel, which is actually it was a former bookshop, but it's still a bookshop. But they've got a bar in there as well.
Yeah.
So you can go and get a beer and grab a book off the shelf and just find a corner or whatever and just chill out and have a read and have a beer. And the sister place to that, I think the guy who owns the Lifeboat in Margate, which is another one. I think they were. I mentioned that before. So you got the Lifeboat in Margate. There's loads. I said there's so many. In my town, you've got another great pub called the Montefiore Arms, which is probably one of the best cask establishments locally. Really kept well. Change beers every 2 days. Kind of sells through. And all that sort of good stuff. Ravensgate, Little Swift opposite the harbour in Margate, which is good. It's just loads. If you send me a message, I'll sort out a list for you, and
I'll tour around all the micro pubs.
Because Rasco and Disco Londoners, they want a jolly to Margate.
My manager did is there a walk around there that kind of way, a well-known walk. She sent me photographs of a cracking little micro pub. It looked lovely.
Yeah.
And then I've seen a few what appeared online. I think Craft Beer Channel might have done a few. And Brad owns a house, I think in Margate, and he's always pushed them to do a thingy.
He's got a house in Cliftonville.
Oh right. Yeah, it looks amazing. I've seen it on. Does it as an Airbnb?
Well, yeah. I'm not going to say
that'd be ace. I'd love to go and stay at Brad's house as an Airbnb. Wouldn't it? It looks gorgeous. And so I've seen a few of the bits and bats. I think they might have done a few places once upon a time, Johnny and Brad. And they're just these kind of weird little wooden shacks and stuff with like uber local kind of like cider in a plastic barrel, and it's just I think that gets lost in big cities. Does the character of beer? I mean, it says drinking some of it's pretty fucking dicey, to be honest. Could have done without it. I heard it. Well, it's got a load of awards. It won the World Beer Award for best in style. Then it won the best World Beer Award, best beer in the UK. I would say
I'm always wary of beers that have got all that spiel on them.
What brought awards? Awards that you have to sort of have.
Sometimes,
but good anyway. But the local,
there seems to be a hell of a lot of beers that won awards, and it's like,
this won an award because nobody else entered the awards.
Well, right. But I'll let you get to it, and then I'll answer that question in a minute.
Severi's talking about the Gordon's Finest, getting drunk quite quickly. He's afraid to buy it. He's afraid to buy more of the Gordons.
Yeah. God blimey.
And then Sorosa, and there are beers that you refuse to drink again. Gordon's Finest is one of them for me. Yeah, there are some beers that I refuse to drink again.
Yeah, there's plenty.
We lean a bit more towards cask, but no issue with keg. There you go.
Right, yeah, well, you'll like it locally down here then. No, it's gone.
39 Steps gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
What is the
They
39
moved
step?
premises.
That was a little micro pub, wasn't
it? It's taken after is it a 1960s film?
Yeah, it's
it's called The Night,
awesome.
which is a little falling.
39 steps.
It's just the other side. Yeah. It's just the other side of Broadstairs. There's a whole
book.
It was a smuggler's thing, and then they made a staircase out of it, and they went up to the cliff top, but within the actual chalk cliff face itself. I've not even seen the film, but I'm not a crazy filmy. But
just from working where I used to work, 39 steps,
which is a micro pub in Broadstairs next to the Bottleneck, which do a few local cask beer bottles, but it's generally a wine shop. Hence, and they moved locations to a bigger premises, and I actually had a brew pub in the back. And obviously this year it's obviously done them over. So apparently it's ceased business. Apparently, unfortunately, Becky. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Kent is the land of the micro pub, isn't it?
It's a Hitchcock film. That's what it is.
Yeah.
An early Hitchcock film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never been to a place that has more micro pubs than Kent. That must be the most in the country to have that sort of establishment.
They're all over Kent. Obviously a lot
because there's loads in Faversham and
all the way up the line.
Yeah.
See, the ones around here are just in like old retail units. They're a bit. They don't. I mean, the ones what I'd seen from various places, they're kind of quite characterful. Thank you.
Schooled.
I don't know who's going first. So they look a bit more characterful. It's like the ones around. I mean, there's one. I don't know if I took either of you to the Cap and Collar in Shipley. Did we go there? All right, I know.
Oh, is that where we had
Triple Choc?
Triple Choc, yeah.
We did then.
You did take me there.
So that's a micro bar. I mean, there's one at Hebden Bridge, which is tiny, which I've never actually managed to get in. Last time I tried to get in, there was like a ambulance outside it, so I couldn't get in, but that's like a little tiny shop, really.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I want to shout out.
I think we're very different up here, anyway, in that sense.
I want to shout out the paper mill as well in Faversham. Which I think it's Faversham, not Sittingbourne. Might be Sittingbourne. One of the two. The paper mill is a good one, which ain't far from the station. So yeah, that's a really good. They get some really good cask beers, but they get some cracking. It's like a micro pub, but that gets key keg as well, and they get some good ones. So
I guess that's the thing, isn't it? It's like when we were talking about this the other day. If I had gone to Geisley today, I'd have really struggled to buy local beers. I could have bought lots of Pressure Drop, lots of Cloudwater, lots of Verdant, lots of Burning Sky, but I couldn't have bought much local stuff. And when I go to somewhere, I want to drink local stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then locals don't want to drink local stuff most of the time.
Yeah.
You want wherever you go in the world, you go to America, you go. I remember going to Italy, and there's a great bar off the beaten track, really highly called Brasserie something numbers, and oddly they had a connection to Eddie Gadd, and they had Seafarer on, so I got all the way to Rome and they got fucking Seafarer on draft.
I know he used to supply a bar out there.
Yeah.
They done a really strong. I can't remember what it
But
was.
that's it. But that's exciting though. For
Yeah,
if you're in Rome, you're drinking like cask ale from Kent. What a wonderful experience!
It was brewed exclusively for that bar in Rome. You couldn't get it locally, and everyone's like, you know. So they done a green hop export once, and it was we're brewing it for somewhere in Ireland or something, and it's like, well, come on, everyone tried it at the brewery once. They had a I don't know if it was it was draft, and they were, oh, that's amazing. And then the following year, they had it on permanently at the Montefiore, which was really good.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's just there's little things like that. But then you also locally you get the absolute what's the word? Kind of they just stick to that brewery's beer all the time, no matter what's on. They just have a of that, you know, which is good as well.
absolutely. I mean, near me, over in Keighley, if you want to drink Timothy Taylor's beer, you go to Boltmakers. It's a fantastic pub. I'm sure. I don't think it's probably not been open since March. It was an absolute great shame. And the woman who used to run it was wonderful. I think she died. She was an older woman, but she was immaculately dressed. She always very well kept, very kind of. I won't say it was a corset, but I mean she was very tight kind of like outfits, but very smart, and she had lots of hair, but it was all really well kept and stuff. And she was like the ultimate kind of landlady. She won't take any shit.
No.
But she was quite a small, wiry woman, but
like Barbara Windsor,
but not cheeky. But she was welcoming. Remarkable, and it's a cracking pub, really small corridor pub. And it's one of the best places you're going to drink Timothy Taylor's beers.
She reminds
around.
me of that.
Like
there's a
2 mile from brewery.
There's a landlady on. I don't know. There's a TV series called Brixton, which is like it's obviously a fishing down in Cornwall, Devon, Cornwall.
Okay.
I can't remember the county. But there's a landlady of a pub there, and she's really she's a little bit eccentric, British, you know, proper. You know where you are with her. You can, you know, just watching the series and stuff, and she reminds me of her a little bit. She's cheeky, tells you what she thinks, normal, raw. And I like that kind of, you know, that real, because you don't see it as much these days. Everything's you can't, you know, personality wise, that kind of thing. It's kind of more of a
it's more of an old school temperament, isn't it? It's you don't see it as much.
I love that. I think it's great.
So that just reminded me. I was listening to the podcast earlier, and I don't know if you've listened to Off Menu, James Acaster.
Oh yeah. I haven't listened to the last
one
couple.
With David Cross, if you know David Cross.
Yeah. Oh really?
Tobias Funke from Arrested Development, and he was talking. He clearly knows about beer, but I don't think he's mega into beer. But I think he clearly spent a lot of time in the UK. And one beer that he talked about, I actually, before I go into it, he did say on a hot day, he essentially said he really liked John Smith's Move, but he can't remember what it was called. And I didn't know if anybody else was around, because it's not, there's not a hell of a lot of people walking around where I live. And I just said, "Oh, David." I was so appalled at myself. I was like, "Oh, David." But one thing he did say, which he loves, because they always ask you, what drink would you have? And before he started his entire menu, because if people don't understand what it is, it's two comedians do a podcast. And you pick your you kind of your dream kind of meal, and he prefaced the entire thing by, well, just so you know, before I start all this, I've had in this kind of fantastical kind of dining experience. So before I start all this, I've already had 4 pints of St Austell Tribute.
Sorry,
It's all right, go for it. And I just thought that was a wonderful thing.
Yeah, the fact that he knew about St Austell Tribute.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm gonna have 4 pints before I start any of this.
I
Anything, I'd 4 pints of. No, fucking hell, that's cool.
Yeah, I can imagine him just drinking them in a pair of jean shorts.
Yeah, exactly. Never nude.
Never nude, yeah.
But the John Smith thing, he let himself down.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, really, because whenever we visit Sophie's grandparents, they live in Luton, so a little ways away from us. That's what her granddad always has in John Smith's. It's like,
oh really?
You want a beer, boy? And it's like, yeah, go on then. I'll have a beer. So that's the only time I ever drink John Smith's. And it's
some yonder boogie.
It is 90 odd. It's 90 odd. It's never going to happen. If he's been drinking John Smith's that long, he can carry on.
Absolutely. Good on him.
Got a few comments. Maybe saying Gordon's
important ones. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Go back to. Come on, go back to. There you go. Which I am. Oh, does Davo actually know about Saltaire triple choc?
I think he does. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, if I went to my bedroom window and like, without fear of dropping my work laptop out of the window, you'd be able to see it because there's big light on top of a big illuminated sign above it. Yes, that's pretty much my neighbour. It's Saltaire Brewery. So yes, triple choc.
And then you can also have some triple choc satire as well if you if you're that way inclined. But Savrio wants to send some Gordons to some other beer tubers. Clues Strinker says, "Even chaps." Hello, Peter.
I got just Peter.
Oh, Peter, mate. How you doing, brother?
What, in your opinion, are European breweries that is to look at? A European brewery that's to look out for next year? Well, to be honest, I don't look too much to European breweries nowadays. I see the ones that come in from like Garage and Basqueland and all those sort of places, but I'm not too adverse on newer European breweries.
No,
there's like a Crack from Italy.
Yeah,
or are they
Italian.
Spain as well? They're Italian.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple of good ones, but also a couple of ropey ones.
Yeah.
And then I stopped buying them because I had a couple of ropey ones.
I've had a few from. I've had a few from Frontal. Are they Swiss?
Frontal, no, Dutch.
Okay.
Frontal. 2 A's.
Right.
Front
right.
There's a French brewery that Honest Brew really rate.
Pushed or whatever it is.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I thought they were. Estonian.
I think you're right.
Oh yeah, no, you'll think no. There's some different. Yeah, you're thinking Puhase or whatever, however you say.
Brasserie Poppin, French.
Yeah,
Poppin.
It's not Poppin though.
We had them at We had them at Hopsay, I think, when you or Dixie, wouldn't you?
I had a stout from them a few years ago, and that was amazing.
I've never had a French brewery that I mean, the Poppin stuff was okay, but no thanks. Sorry,
sorry, France. For all our French listeners watching now.
It's a funny old situation. I guess I think for a while, I guess take us back kind of like 7 years. I think everybody was getting weak at the knees for Danish breweries, but I think that's waned.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think besides America, I think UK is making the best beer in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, depends.
I mean, we're a bit biased, but I think so.
You have to look at, but you have to look at certain styles. I'd say that's probably
yes. Yeah. I mean,
if you're thinking of the zeitgeist sort of styles, the IPAs and stouts
I'm
and that
sure
sort
there's
of thing.
yeah, like people talk about Apex, and when I made such a bold claim, Thomas mentioned Arabs, which I can get, but I don't know if they're the best examples. So I think there's stuff, and there's like AF over in some good Russian stuff knocking around as well. But I'd say en masse, I think you can probably pick around and think, oh well, there's that brewery from that country, and this brewery from that country, and this brewery from that country, like Pichiala and stuff like, which are amazing.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a lot easier for us to get UK stuff. But I'd say on volume, I think you can't go anywhere close to the UK on quality and volume. You can, geez, like how many breweries are you class as good as a lot of American breweries?
That looks a bit oxidized, Craig.
I told you I was worried, didn't I?
You did say you were worried about this.
What's that you opened?
That was from Xylo Brewing in Market.
Nice looking cans though.
Yeah.
Looking cans. That's a bit on the brown side.
Love it.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's the proof's in the pudding. It could surprise you. Yeah.
But yeah, no, and obviously it's awareness and stuff. But you mean, yeah, North, Daya, Verdant, Cloudwater. Well, maybe not Northern Monk. Sometimes.
Yeah, I don't see Northern Monk about as much as I used to. Really. Yeah.
No, it's just in the supermarkets, isn't it?
Yeah, and then like I mean, when you think we've got like also, so you've got those breweries, and then you've got breweries like Mills and like Little Earth Project and Yonder and doing all that sort of like crazy mixed firm stuff. It's the right mix of styles that you can find in UK. Burning Sky. Yeah.
Yeah, Burning Sky. Goodness, yeah, it's hard to you forget them all. Track, jeez, yeah, so many.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky. We're pretty lucky, I suppose.
Yeah, I think, but as I said, I think you can still go to a lot of countries and still find some absolute corkers. Maybe we're not fully aware of it because we just so spoiled.
Well, I think Thomas. I think Thomas has said like the Netherlands isn't there with sort of like the UK and America. They're good breweries, but they've still got like a way to go, which is what I think is said before.
Yeah. But there's shining stars all over the place, isn't there, really? I think the one what would stand out as quality is in Europe. It would be Pichiala. They do their stuff is very good. You want some barrel aged?
Yeah, and I can't believe how cheap Pichiala beer is. It is mega cheap.
Yeah.
Like some of their 10% stuff you can pick up for like £5, like at the very most. Sometimes it's mad.
It is very good.
Yeah, a bit like also like Basqueland. Like I remember that stout that we were raving about a couple of years ago. It was like mega cheap.
Not anymore.
Found
myself in Newcastle about 3 weeks ago, and they put on a Basqueland IPA at like.
I'm gonna have a stout now. So.
Oh yeah, I can get that at Trembling Madness, like if it's any good.
Yeah,
so the beer before wasn't that good then, Craig. You go straight on to
moving on to something else.
No, I've drunk it.
Finished it.
But yeah, they were putting on like a 6 point whatever IPA, £6.50 or something like that. Whoa.
Yeah.
Don't think I'll have that one. Yeah, I think Baslan do some good stuff. I think Garage do some great stuff as well. But Garage are really top end price wise.
Yeah,
like their stout,
they are now,
Imperial Stout's really good, but expensive.
Dan was saying you guys have some degree of exposure to public life. Any unpleasant pub situations? Do you mean COVID unpleasant pub situations, Davor? I haven't had many unpleasant pub situations other than it just being not really like a pub when you go in. Yeah.
Empty.
It's just very different.
Yeah, going to Whitelocks in Leeds, that was
Yeah, I went to this local sort of cast place, which is normally a bit of a go to because it is probably one of the best cast pubs in Ipswich, called the Dove. And I went in there, and they are hype. They are cool. They are hyper strict. Like their rules are right, and it was just a bit strange to begin with, and then like I was looking at the menu, and she was like the lady serving me was like, what do you want? And I was like, I don't know. I was looking through Untapped, sort of like looking at what I wanted, and she was just sort of like standing there the whole time, and it was just a bit of a strange one. Like I enjoyed once I had my beers, I was fine, but yeah, so that was just a strange experience. It wasn't unpleasant, but one of the best experiences I had recently was I judged a homebrew competition. And it was like we were all socially distanced, but we all had our own. They gave us a fresh glass for every beer, so like the guy cleaning the glass.
I've judged homebrew. I don't know if I found it was a pleasant experience.
But I think it was because we're all round a table, and there was like 6 of us, and we were all talking, and it was just before, all the lockdown stuff was just being announced. Yeah. So it was like everyone was saying this will be our last drink with people. Like outside of our household, like for at least a month, sort of thing. So that was a month. Yeah. And it was in a pub that's not been open like the whole of since March, basically. Yeah. So it was a strange experience, but it was really good. And the standard of homebrew was actually really good. There were some proper ropey ones, but there were some really good ones. You can't believe we're homebrew sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like my area. It's gone from like 1 or 2 cases to. We've actually got more cases locally now than Liverpool, so it's like yay! I think we're in the top 15.
Oh, what do you mean, like percentage wise or actual?
No, actual per 100,000.
Yeah.
Second in the country. Woo!
Yeah. No, we're potentially going to be the highest. Very soon.
Well, you had nothing. You had nothing to begin with, didn't you?
Hull was the highest, and Bradford was second highest in the country.
I think Swale, Faversham Swale Way, which is Sheppey. I think they're number 12 at the moment.
We're there at number 12, Sheppey.
Yay! Because there's got to be a league table, of course. It's like
you go get top of the league, ain't you?
Everything's numbers, isn't it? It's like what's the worst, what's the best?
Bradford top of the league.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's the first time for a while, but I don't know. It just seems
Cheers, DJ. No, not many people say I rock much. I'd love it if more people said that.
Bradford's down 405 from the previous week. Boom.
we're
it's the only time you want to go down the table.
We're about 380 odd. I think we're about 380 odd. So.
Per 100,000.
Yeah, it's bad.
No, ours is 492.
The trouble is though, because of the way it's going, everyone's like, there's a vaccine. Fuck it, and all this.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but there is. See, there's one thing. The last day before our last drink on the Sunday, I met with some mates, and a friend came in with his father-in-law who works within that industry, and told us all sorts. Told us about loads of stuff what was in development. And it really gave me hope, actually. And I thought, but it's not changed my behaviour. I don't go. No. I tried to stay away from people as it is.
Yeah.
The best times, but I'd say, when it's on doom and gloom, I think people are a bit more. Oh, I'll fucking do what I want then. If you say actually, it's one thing he told us about, which I told somebody else about earlier today. It says there's a test which is in development. And it's well down the lines. Which works as a breathalyzer type thing, and it works within 15 seconds.
Wow!
Yeah, and that's what the hospitality industry needs. You want to go in a pub, All right, just hang over there. Yeah, you're all right. Come in.
Yeah.
And that'll free things up so much.
Oh,
He could be
yeah.
having
I mean,
a lot more people in. Probably not.
Yeah, but I mean,
and that's quick as well, because I remember like going into nightclubs this back in the day, swab tests on. I don't know if you guys experienced this, but swab tests on your hands to see if you've been doing anything you shouldn't be doing.
Oh, yeah, clearly you got
I
to do that
don't
rooftop gardens in Wakefield.
But that was quick, and that was like that. I mean, that was obviously looking at different substances, and but that was a quick. It didn't take any time. It's like they swab your hands. The light goes green, and you're not.
If you've got nothing on your hands, you can't come in.
Yeah, exactly. Just people trying to do coke without using their hands, sort of like just set it up a line like that.
Clearly, you were going to the wrong place.
Yeah,
well, maybe the right places,
or the right places.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
there
this
you go.
beer is very nice. Hi, James.
Yeah, that's also my birthday. DJ Scratch, same day.
Really?
Yeah. Best birthday in December. Some people say.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
better than Jesus.
Reviews from the Rampant Lion.
Yeah.
I would imagine the worst birthday would be the 25th.
Jesus. Are we turning 20? I've never seen DJ videos. But...
Get the fuck out of here!
I'm turning 30s, and that's bad enough.
I'm double your age, son.
More.
You're 60. Oh, him. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm double your age. I'm 41. Yeah.
That one's a bit the cowboy breakfast. Well, the cowboy breakfast has to be maple and coffee, doesn't it? Is that what's in the cowboy?
I don't know if it is actually. Can't remember what it is.
Let us know what's in there,
near me. Actually,
that sounds good. Sounds good.
Ollie from Pint Size shouts hello at us with a
hello.
We can hear you, Ollie. Calm down.
How you doing, son? So cool.
Hello. That's how I read that.
Yeah, nice.
Pint Size.
Everyone's being nice. It's good. Just
I've never had a bad chat.
No.
That's jinxed it now. That's jinxed it. Everyone, I'm going to start getting trolled.
I had a few trolls on one of my live kind of things a couple of weeks ago, and they'll come through. That's where I blocked Peter. Yeah.
I love that period now. Simon starts doing his thing.
Yeah. Mulatto chili, blackcurrant, and Costa Rican coffee. Wow. That's what's in the in that one. Blackcurrant is a funny one.
Yeah. Well, I was looking forward to the next comment. There's a couple of bits on there. Yeah. Yeah, Crew Republic, Cormoran do some great stuff. They're core porters.
You just don't see them over here, though, do you? Really? Not that.
No.
Much.
We used to get a bit of Crew Republic. They're German, aren't they? Like Roundhouse Kick and stuff like that. But decent. Cormoran, who are a bigger brewery, and I think their posh stuff, their ballet stuff, is maybe insane. But they're core
Yankee and Kraut. Another German one.
Yeah, total. I love Amma.
Not had a lot of these.
Yeah, we just don't see enough Amma these days. The Merschlertle, I think, are great. Do silly stouts. Yeah, Thomas would be better. Give you a better overview of that. But yeah, I've liked all the Merschlertle, which I've had. I would agree on that.
People will let you know a few others from Germany, at least. Yeah, people know a lot from Germany.
No trolls allowed. Well, they can. They're allowed, but then they can cut off quickly. Yeah. They can begin, but they can't carry on. Yeah. Well, I might. If you've still got a full one there, I'm going to grab one more, and then maybe we'll. I don't know. Should or unless we want to close this one down and start a new one.
You can if you want.
Yeah. We'll see what Roberto thinks when he comes back.
Roberto. Roberto.
So your Xylo one was really good then.
It wasn't for me.
It wasn't your cup of tea. That looked like it. That didn't look like a beer. That looked like a cannon issue. It looked like an oxidization issue.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell it on the screen. You could see it here.
I was worried. I've got another one of these as well. It's like,
well, same one or different beer.
Same one.
Same.
Same King Bond. Yeah. So I was gonna, obviously, as soon as I cracked the can, I knew before I even pulled it out. Hi, Harry,
Harry speaking French.
Yeah, the can. It's a nice logo. I'm trying to go through local stuff at the moment and trying to promote them and stuff. And it's like, kind of was a bit worried because obviously they've not been canning very long. I don't know where they can their stuff, and yeah, but they've done some great stuff when you go to the bar.
Yeah.
It's just one of them things. With that, it might be just that can though, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. But I've got three other styles, or two other styles. I've got a Kolsch and something else, I can't remember. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there you are. But yeah, back on this. This was actually they actually threw this in my little order the other day, which I wasn't expecting, which is really good of them. And I've had this a couple of times, and lovely chocolate stout, 8.4, bit of strength.
Yeah, I mean that's virgin on Imperial, isn't it? That's getting up there.
Yeah, I love the artwork. It's pretty cool.
Where's that like Interstellar?
Yeah, well, it's called Atomic Space Bear. So
yeah,
there you go. But yeah, quite decent. Very nice, actually. So quite decent. I'd happily buy it again.
They are good at their dark beers.
Yeah, I mean, they're good at a lot of their beers. Their Lighthouse Hellish Lager it's better than, I'd say, Lost and Grounded. It's it's more in line with a proper German Helles.
Once for collectionability, do you just go and like collect a half? Collect a half in a pint glass.
That's
a well-filled half in a pint
Pre-order
glass. And you pop round corner and
neck it, and then pre-order the next one.
Have another one.
They must be doing a bit well, because a bit like Salford Beer Festival did like a virtual box and stuff. So
Salford.
I suppose, yeah. What did I say?
Salford.
I mean,
Aldi.
you could have a beer festival and a big beer festival in a big car park where you got the stalls. You just drive around in your car. That would be a good idea.
A drive-through beer festival.
That kind of happened in America. I remember early on. I remember Niche covering something where it was with loads of stalls, and you just drove through and got cans and fills and blah 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 as you went through.
Yeah, no,
you couldn't do that in this country.
One of them robotic arms where they kind of pass you your beer and that sort of shit.
Well,
you need someone who
the brewery who brews that, Grainsbury, their thing is drive-through, so you don't get out your car when you go and pick up your beers. You just go because they're in the arse end of nowhere. You pre-order and then they've even got their payment thing on a big stick. Stick that they put through the window.
Yeah, then once we're all gone, they use them for the rubbish.
They because they did at Halloween, they converted the drive-through into like so you drove through it, but it was like there's people jumping out at you and sort of it was all scary, and they did like a whole Halloween thing through the drive-through, so it was quite inventive.
Yeah,
and you had to tell, and if you had like younger kids, you had to tell them so they didn't make it like as scary. So they didn't like splatter your car with blood or anything like.
Yeah, right. Excellent. But good luck with getting them to sleep after that. Uh,
Oh yeah, that's up Harry Street, the old five and drive.
Yeah.
Tisk.
Think I saw Old Chimney's done a collab with Yonder. They might have done, but Old Chimney's doesn't exist technically. Might be. Oh, it's more than likely duration rather than Old Chimneys.
I don't know what it is about the duration. I'm just not interested at all.
They do good beers, and then some beers are meh, and then this was like that. I was not a fan of that. That was not a great beer. I finished it. It wasn't like
their table beer I had early in the year was probably one of the best table beers I've ever had.
Yeah,
Really good.
They're quite good. They're quite good at that sort of like hazy, soft, pale stuff.
Yeah,
like they're quite good at that. But like that West Coast was not the best. I suggest you try Cuvée de Jonquière from Bière de Gare.
Nice.
Expensive, but it's a really great beer from France.
I like your pronunciation.
Yeah, that was an absolute stab in the dark.
I like it. It's conviction. If you say it with enough confidence, then people will believe you.
You lived in France for a while, though, didn't you?
I did. My wife's fluent, and I can't speak any. It was just a lot of people looking blankly at me.
Yeah.
That was my whole year of living in France. It was fun, though. It was definitely fun. But shall we wrap the stream up and see if we want to open up a bigger stream?
Yeah.
Because I can see the Facebook chats. There's people on there, so that other people might want to
blowing up.
But a big thank you for joining us on our local beer chat. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm always amazed that people join in and ask questions and comment and stuff. It's always lovely. It's always humbling. Yeah, definitely. So thank you very much, and I don't know what the next one is, but we'll see you on the next one.
Next lockdown.
Yeah, next lockdown we'll be back.
Keep safe.
Bye. Oh, watch my 30 beers for 30 years thing. Anyone else want to plug anything?
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.